Welcome back for the love of food. Well, it's still Thanksgiving, and while my turkey is cooking, I'm going to be making some appetizers to bring to my friend's house as well. Now, you all know that I really adore Vivian Howard, and I have her cookbook, Deep Run Roots. And I went to a book signing. I've showed you all some of this before, but maybe if you didn't catch it, I went to her book signing and she signed my cookbook. So anyway, happy Thanksgiving to Vivian and all the folks down there at the Chef and the Farmer. And in tribute, I am going to make Vivian's favorite pecans. Now, most of you have had a spiced nut before. They're great, right? Hers are healthy and they're fabulous. So the nut of choice is pecans. Now, pecans in the South grow around this time of the year, the fall to early December. I didn't have a chance to get to the farmer's market, and I don't have a pecan tree, but maybe I will one day. But I went into the store and I bought some pecans. So her recipe calls for 4 cups. I'm not going to have near 4 cups. And nor do I want to. There's a small gathering of us today, so that would be way too many. So what we're going to do with the pecans is we're going to be using an egg white. And that's why I have the KitchenAid mixer out, because we're going to beat the egg white until it becomes really foamy and stiff. I also am going to be adding in sugar. And because we're cutting the recipe in half, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm also going to be adding in these spices: ground cumin, paprika, coriander, and chipotle, along with some salt. And that's all this recipe is going to take. So once we whip up our nuts and whip up our egg whites, in our KitchenAid, we're going to be adding in the sugar and the salt, and then slowly, and then we're going to add our spices into that mixture. We're going to be folding that in and folding in the pecans, and then we're going to bake them on a tray for approximately 10 minutes. We're going to pull them out. And then we're going to kind of break them up and move them around, flip them over so that we make sure all that coating is staying on there. And then we're going to put them back in for approximately another 20 minutes. And if we need to stop and check them at each 10-minute interval, we'll do that just to make sure that everything is coming along the way that we want to. These nuts are a big hit. I've made them before and taken them places, and everybody wanted the recipe. So I hope that you will enjoy. For the love of food, I'll come back and try and get another shot in or two, and maybe do another little bit of a video once I have my egg whites done. All right, great. Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you in a few. So you can see we've got our egg whites to the point where they are pretty stiff, see the way that they'll stick to my whisk here. And now we can go ahead and add in our spices. So we're going to be putting in a teaspoon of paprika. We're going to be putting in 1/2 tablespoon of the chipotle, 1/2 tablespoon of the cumin. There we go. I'm spilling a little bit of it there. And we're going to do 1/2 tablespoon of coriander as well. And we're just going to whisk that in to our mixture. Just going to put that on there. And that is going to be what we're going to put on our pecans. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure I got all of that folded in and mixed in well, all of those spices into that egg white, and you can get an idea here how it looks. And now we're going to gently fold in the pecans. We're just going to fold, making sure that everything gets coated. And that's so you can can see, get a good idea of what this is supposed to look like. It smells wonderful. And I just want to fold them and move them around a little bit just to make sure that they are fully coated. And then what we're going to do is spread them out on our pan, which we have right here. And we're going to just go ahead and make sure that they're not all touching each other if we can help it. Let me get all of them. And I want all that coating too. All right. So we'll just go ahead and start spreading these out. And as they cook, that first 10 minutes, as I mentioned before, we're going to just make sure that they're broken apart and that none of them are sticking together. So it's better to not crowd them in the pan. It's going to make things a lot easier when you go to work with them when they're cooking. And what I like about this recipe, if you noticed, it didn't call for a lot of salt. Where these nuts are really going to get their flavor is from those wonderful spices. And they're beautiful, aren't they? Before they're even cooked, you can tell that these are going to be wonderful. So I'm just spreading these out. And then what we'll do is we will come back and take a photo of what they look like after they are done. So remember, 10 minutes in, we'll break them apart, make sure nothing is sticking together. And then what we will do is we will put them back in for another 10 minutes and check them. If they look like they're doing well, we'll leave them alone and cook them for a total of 30 minutes.